The book of 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 21 says, "For prophecy never came by the will of man, but holy men of God spoke as they were moved by the Holy Spirit." And surely holy men indeed, God's most beloved anointed servant, prophet Asana Enoch, the chosen one of God, a holy man indeed, just as it was written in the Bible. God is using him to prophesy unto nations and reveal hidden mysteries behind people's lives. By the power of the Holy Spirit, he speaks the wisdom of God as he dives into the future. He speaks with an accurate and unmatched record in the realm of the prophetic. For he is God's mouthpiece, risen for our generation.
I saw the Egyptian economy getting on its knees in the year 2024.
The amount of money needed to buy these potatoes continues to climb. Inflation reached a historic high of 38% last September, and although it has dropped back a little, the country's trade deficit continues to rise. Last year it hit $36.9 billion. The International Monetary Fund last week gave Cairo $8 billion, an expansion of a $3 billion deal struck back in December 2022. It agreed to shift to a more flexible exchange rate system after restoring its US reserves with the help of the IMF money.
8 or 10 months ago, I talked about devaluation, and I said that I will stand against this because it is a matter of Egyptian national security. Why? Because in our economic evaluation at the time, we could not do this without having a considerable amount of dollar reserves with which we can organize the market. Numbers would have been huge. We would be talking about 80, 90 Egyptian pounds to the dollar.
The floating of the pound last week caused it to fall by 62% against the US dollar. Authorities say that will help combat inflation and attract foreign investment. But analysts are concerned that a devalued currency may push inflation up further, increasing the cost of living in a country heavily reliant on imports. The central bank also hiked the official interest rate up 600 basis points. It now stands at 27.25%. A higher interest rate makes the cost of borrowing more expensive, hindering private investment and slowing consumer demand. Egypt is also facing a revenue crisis as shippers avoid using the Suez Canal after attacks on ships by Yemen's Houthi rebels.
We are impacted by the decrease of the Suez Canal revenues. The trade movement is also impacted taxes, meaning less revenue.
Egypt has moved to secure more investment by signing a $35 billion deal with Emirati Sovereign Wealth Fund, ADQ. But no one's yet sure whether all these moves will be enough to get the economy back on track. Emre Boz, TRT World.
For more on this, we are now joined by XTB MENA senior market analyst Hani Abuala in Dubai. Thank you for being with us today. So, thank you for having me. As we've heard in the report by our colleague, the Egyptian pound plummeted from just under 31 to the dollar to around 49 against the dollar. What are going to be the consequences of such a sharp and sudden devaluation?
I think the sharp devaluation happens, almost a third of its value have been wiped in just over 1 hour. That's one, I think, just to stabilize the market and fight the black market and make also one exchange rate only in Egypt.